YouTube, Jumpy23 here. Buckle up because we're about to speed through Palette Prime. With all of the main missions already complete, we're free to do side missions in almost any order, and I decided to knock out all the quick ones back to back. There are 7 in this video. First, we have Well Hidden. This is a defeat Darkmess Eyes map, and we just did one of those, so I don't even need to change my skill in Spark layouts. I'm not sure how much randomness is in this map. This was the first layout that I randomized and it worked instantly. I said this in a Pristine Peaks video, but dual shot is great for these maps, to take out eyes on rooftops since quake powers don't work on those. Get-in powers do, but of course they have less range. Goddamn, do I spend a long time walking the cursor through the entire map before I can target the correct eye though. Alright. At first I thought the map would end when Luigi hit that eye because I didn't notice this last one, hence the pause. Fortunately, I didn't screw myself because Edge could just barely reach.
That'll do.
Next up we have Pond Scum, a quick seas map. There are a few layout possibilities for this map, and while they're all probably doable with items or with good enemy placements, this one is definitely the easiest. All I really need with this layout is Luigi and someone with a decent glide timer. I went for Mario out of sheer laziness, but someone with a 6-second glide timer like Peach or Rabbid Luigi would probably make that a little less tight. Here's Fungi Frenzy. As with other Toad maps, it's a seas and the layout isn't random, but enemy placement is. However, we do have a powerful new tool for rigging enemy placement, Glitter. This will help me set up good bounces for Mario, although I did still reset this map a few times to get good enemy placements for subsequent bounces. Now you fly! This magician that Luigi is standing next to is seriously like 5 pixels too far for Mario to stomp. I tried to eke every juice I could out of his movement, but it still just wasn't quite enough. Fortunately, after a gather round, there's 2 new magicians that are much easier. With just one more well-placed stomp, Mario is able to make it to the goal, although he has an extra stomp left, so 2 more poorly placed ones could have also done the trick. Perfecto, huh? Next we have Evil by the Lake, another randomized seas map, and the layout might look, familiar. Yeah, maybe this and Pond Scum were copy and pasted from each other. While I have nothing to say, in case you're wondering, I have this Zephyrquake Spark, which has a gust power, which clearly would have been quite helpful against Bedrock, but I didn't use it there. You get Zephyrquake for completing a Ghostly Sunset, and I wanted the XP from Bedrock to go up a level before I did that map.
Overall, spotless. Oh, yes, Mama like.
For a change of pace, here's a route map, Bridge to Darkmess. As best as I can tell, this map was designed as some kind of tutorial for how utterly broken Glitter is. It's always a downright tiny map.
Let's go.
And what few enemies are on it are always relatively frail. As you can see, I'm reaching every single enemy with a single glitter here. And one punch from Rabid Mario, or, well, 5, clears us the map in one turn, without even moving my other units. Finally, for something slightly less trivial, here's Darkmess Near the Woodshed. This is a route map with only 6 enemies, but half of them are wildcats, who are too fat to be easily one-shot by Rabid Mario. Additionally, I can't reach the entire map with a single glitter, but we already know our tool for dealing with bulky wildcats. Aquanox plus Steely Stare. Exactly 3 wildcats is exactly the right amount for this to easily clean up. I do have to remember not to use Steely Stare too early or else it will trigger on glitter. Had to reset once for that. It is very helpful to pull all of the additions with glitter, although if one were too far away, Edge could clean it up. So Rabid Mario accidentally got pinned in here, and I try to escape with dashes so that the wildcats have to run further. I'm afraid when triggering them at such close range that when they move into counter, Steely Stare won't have enough time to proc. Unfortunately, the game doesn't let Rabid Mario escape for some reason. But fortunately, Steely Stare still procs successfully on both wildcats. There's just one left, and this is a classic Edge situation. The last map that I have for you today may not look like the hardest, but trust me, it was. The Kid and the King makes me destroy Darkmess Eyes with 2 of the worst units in the game. On my test run, I got a workable layout very quickly, but that must have been a fluke. It took over an hour of testing layouts and resetting to get it to happen on camera. Bowser and Rabbid Luigi are just so flawed in ways you might not even expect. More than once I lost a run because Bowser's beefy character model couldn't fit between a Darkmess Eye and a wall. Many times I lost a run because the Disruptor couldn't turn sharply enough, or reach far enough, or ignore some enemy and hit a Darkmess Eye instead. Anyway, to start, Bowser uses Electrogeddon, even though he's not hitting any elevated eyes, because I'm saving Zephyrquake's superior range, though I don't end up using it. Bowser does a ground pound when landing from a team jump, and fortunately that breaks eyes. This frees up his action to use a move boost to give Rabbid Luigi a better team jump. Frankly, you wouldn't think that this would have been so hard when Bowser has the AoE team jump in addition to 2 AoE spark powers, and Rabbid Luigi has 2 AoE spark powers and Disruptor. But if Darkmess eyes are on opposite corners of this platform, then Toxicoik can't reach. Fortunately, that didn't happen this time. And Disruptor needs to hit the last 7 eyes, which is exactly how many bounces it can have. But fortunately, no enemies spawned down here to distract it. The extra team jump range from Bowser also came in clutch, giving Rabbid Luigi line of sight on the first eye instead of being blocked by the ground. That's today's maps, thanks for watching.